My name is Thandi. I am a South African-born reporter living in the USA and have managed to get hold of the amended version of the South African government's latest statement on Afrikaner refugees moving to the US, which I would like to read out to all South Africans considering taking up refugee status in the USA. These are not my words or beliefs, but I am merely reporting on the South African government's true statement, so please listen carefully. Official statement, South African Department of International Relations and Deception. The South African government notes the recent U.S. presidential determination regarding refugee status for South African minority groups. We wish to clarify yet again that claims of so-called discrimination and persecution are absolutely unfounded, a narrative we are confident can be maintained, provided nobody looks too closely at our 114 race-based policies that discriminate against minorities, the steady erosion of minority rights, large-scale land grabs, or the growing political influence of parties who publicly sing about harming minorities. To further illustrate our point, we proudly reference a handful of misguided Afrikaner representatives who don't actually represent Afrikaners or anyone else for that matter, but have bravely stepped forward to write a propaganda letter denying any unfair treatment of Afrikaners and minorities whatsoever, and who will be rewarded by the ANC, provided they remain silent on systemic discrimination of their own people. The story that tens of thousands of South African minorities are applying for U.S. refugee status is surprising. This mass exodus is clearly just coincidence and not based on the fact that we dislike minorities, will continue to discriminate against them, and the future coalition government might very well carry out radical actions against them in the near future. Additionally, South African minorities are already free to emigrate through legal channels, although most can't afford it due to our cleverly constructed BEE laws. South Africa remains committed to its strong partnership with the United States, especially when it involves getting free money, grants, aid, or trade agreements that make our comrades rich. We will continue to affirm human rights, international law, and the dignity of all citizens, while reserving the right to enforce discrimination and persecution of minorities. For further clarification or carefully curated truth statements, please contact the South African Department of International Relations, Lies and Deception. Thank you for listening to my report, and after reading out the South African government's true version of their latest statement, I suggest that minorities get on a plane bound for the U.S. and get the hell out of there as fast as possible.